That's it. Yeah. Okay, we'll call the informal hearing of the post commission to order. All right, we have no court order post surrenders, so we will move past that and go to our first matter for decertification. Be the Grundy County Sheriff's Office, Anthony G. Bean. Mr. Bean was submitted for decertification based on his termination for criminal conduct. Do we have anybody from Grundy County on the?
Sheriff Clint Strum.
Hello, Sheriff.
Good afternoon.
Well, if you would just go ahead and tell your side of this request.
Yeah, absolutely. I submitted the request. Tony was convicted in federal court for some deprivation of rights, and that happened on June the 28th. And so we're just following the rules to make sure that he is decertified.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody, Mr. Bean or anybody representing Mr. Bean on the call?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a proof of service, Mr. Bean?
There is proof of service, yes.
Thank you.
We have a motion to approve.
Is it a default discertification
Yes,
based on criminal misconduct?
correct.
I will second it then.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we have a motion to approve. All in favor? Any opposed? It's approved. Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Thank you very much.
All right, next order of business, Johnson City Police Department, Jada D. Berkey. Ms. Berkey was submitted for decertification based on her failure to maintain pre-employment requirements. Do we have anybody from the Johnson City Police Department on the call? Anybody from Johnson City here? Ms. Berkey, are you on the call?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Chair Parton.
Do we have proof of service, please, sir?
So it was served on 3/22/22. There are no signatures on the form from the Postal Service. You may.
What are the grounds for decertification, if I may?
Failure to maintain pre-employment.
The package that was sent out on this, there was very little information. It said for inability to perform essential functions of a police officer, medically unable to return to work. I suppose that is failure to maintain pre-employment requirements, but it's kind of a skinny package.
It was, I also saw in there, it looked to me like she's been hired September 11th of 2000, and almost 22 years based on what it's in there.
So I've got a little reluctance on this, but I'd certainly like to hear from somebody. Kind of filling some of these blanks.
Did you say that they did, or were they not served, or is there a signature?
No signature.
There is no signature, but the U.S. Postal Service is reporting that it was delivered and left with her.
30 days or something. I rescind my first and agree to his second motion.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. It will be moved to next month's informal hearing docket. Next up is the Graysville Police Department, Carl D. Fairbanks. Mr. Fairbanks was submitted for decertification based on his termination and being arrested for domestic assault. We have the Graysville Police Department with us today. Anybody from the Graysville Police Department? So Mr. Fairbanks, still his side of the story then. See, I suppose I believe he is on. Mr. Fairbanks, are you, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here.
You would just state your name for the record and I guess tell your side of the story.
Okay, my name is Carl D. Fairbanks. Back in October of 2021, I was arrested and charged with domestic assault. Upon going through the court systems, the judge and the DA both stated that they believe I shouldn't have been. There were some loud words being said, but there were no physical or anything like that being done between my wife, and the police report shows that. I went through the court system. I took a 40-hour batterers intervention course and an anger management course, and completed those at the top end of those classes. And everything has been dismissed through the court system, so there's no record of that either.
Mr. Fairbanks, are you saying that the record has been expunged, that when you say there's no record of it, or? is it-
That's correct, yes. The record, it's per the judge's request that it be expunged, because they believe that I should have never been arrested for that, or for those charges or anything like that. So, but myself and my attorney said, I could have handled the situation a little bit different. And, I did get some benefit out of, taking those courses to, deal with those situations in a completely different manner.
Mr. Fairbanks, this is Commissioner Wright. Where are you currently working at?
I own my own construction company. I've continued to do that alongside working while I was working in Graysville. And then, like I said, I was terminated from Graysville the night before I was arrested for domestic. They never gave me a reason. I requested a reason for termination, and they directed me to speak to the Graysville attorney, and she refuses to give me any information. So now my attorney's trying to reach out to them and get an exact reason as to why they wanted me to be terminated.
Do we have anything from the court showing the disposition of the case?
I didn't see anything in the packet about the charges
Either,
All I saw was the minutes from the city council,
which was long.
long and dry.
Because there's a lot of confusion on my end. I mean, like I said, per the packet, and it'll show in the minutes that everybody within the city council and along with the community enjoyed me being a part of that police department. I took community policing to a whole nother level. I made sure that the community and myself were on the same page and made sure that things got taken care of and that people felt safe within that community. And like I done my job above and beyond what I needed to. It wasn't just a 12 to 12 shift. I actually put forth the effort to get to know my community and, make it better. And per the city council, that's exactly what I was doing, and why I was fired. I don't have those answers.
Mr. Fairbanks, would you be able to provide proof or something from the court showing the disposition of the case?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've got the certificate from the class itself, the dismissal letter from the judge, and a letter from the counselor stating that he appreciates all the hard work and stuff that I put into that. I didn't know if I could submit that or not, or if that was going to be part of this. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever had to deal with anything like this. So I'm a little bit distraught, not really sure how to handle this
That's
situation.
all right. We're gonna try to get you through it, okay? We'd be more interested in the expungement from the court, would be what we'd really want to see.
Or even just the order dismissal.
Yeah, the order dismissal would work as well.
All right. Yeah. Like I said, my attorney, this was done about 2 Fridays ago. My attorney was going through all the paperwork, trying to get everything expunged to make sure that I could have that. So as soon as I'm able to get those in writing with the proper letterheads and everything like that, I'd be more than happy to submit that to you guys.
Do we want to push it to allow for that, or do we want to go ahead and do a disposition based upon?
Yeah, I think I would
Submission.
suggest we go ahead and disapprove the package pending receipt of the order of dismissal. That'll be my motion.
I'll second that. Mr. Fairbanks, did you hear what we come across?
I apologize. I'm a little hard of hearing. Uncle Sam has not been kind to my ears.
That's all right. We got a motion on the floor that your case be no action taken, provided that you show the evidence of the court dismissal
Okay.
to us.
That'll be fine. I had
And
a question.
if we do not receive that, then you'd be back before the board again.
Absolutely. My question to the board would be is, am I considered post-certifiable? Let's say I turn in all my paperwork and this whole thing's dismissed. Am I post-certifiable still, or am I post-certified? Because Graysville never turned in that paperwork like they were supposed to have. So I'm kind of in limbo on that as well. So we're trying to get that situation figured out.
If I may, Mr. Fairbanks, what academy did you go to?
I went to the Cleveland State Police Academy.
Did you successfully complete that academy?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay.
I graduated with honors, ma'am.
When did you graduate?
I believe that the graduation was August 16th of 2020.
And were you employed by Graysville at that time?
I was employed by Graysville of June of 21.
They never submitted the proper paperwork to you.
That's correct. They never did, and they've even said that they never did. They don't have a reason or an explanation as to why they did or didn't do it.
He's not certified. Cleveland hasn't submitted anything, and neither does Graysville.
Yeah, because he has 1 year from the time he graduated that academy to get hired somewhere, and then it'd be sent in, but that's not his
That's
fault.
correct.
The city's.
I was conducting my commercial business all the way up until May of 2021. That left me with roughly about 3.5 months to have a job and be, all of my information submitted. And June, I believe it was June 15th or June 16th of 2021, I started with Graysville Police.
And he would have went in, he would have went active with post, but Graceville did not do that. That's not his.
Right.
But sir, what's your intentions from here on?
Well, barring this and making sure everything goes, I was going to submit application for Ray County Sheriff's Department or Saudi Daisy Police Department, one of the two.
You'll have to let Sheriff Neal know that the situation, and we'll have to make a note of this, but I personally, legal will have to look into a little further, but I don't want you to be messed up and lose your academy because of lack of due diligence on the former employer not getting that submitted to this
Right.
body.
Like I said, I submitted all of the paperwork that was necessary on my end, and I thought.
They're meeting.
They would.
Right. I mean, we have the minutes of where they hired you, and that's, that's dated in time, but that would be proof that you would be in good stand. Technically, you would still be in good standing.
He had 3 years from date of completion.
It's just a year.
It's 3 years.
It's 3 years.
The date of completion, beginning May 1st.
It used to be a year.
Mr. Fairbanks, if you could follow up with Cleveland State and get a copy of your certificate showing you completed the academy and submit it to us as soon as you can, because
I have all of that paperwork.
Okay.
I keep a strong file on that.
you need to follow up on that because the police department and Cleveland State have not. So please send that to us.
Okay, because if I understand correctly, I was told that once it's sent into you guys, then you guys send something out to the academy in which I graduated from, and then they confirm it. From what I understood, like I said, I'm not 100% sure. That wasn't, I guess, my forte on that, and I apologize for them not doing that for you guys.
Certified or different.
Right.
Like I said, I worked really hard to get to this position in my life, and now it feels like it's all kind of just going to the wayside because somebody didn't put in the proper paperwork. And it's, like I said, I apologize if I seem a little flustered. It's,
Well, that's all right. I think everybody here is, I don't think you're gonna have any issues on that side. It's just us receiving the proper paperwork to get you moving forward. One is your certificate from Cleveland State, and the other is the court disposition of the case being dismissed. And other than that, you'll be good.
okay. And then as far as in service and things of that nature, I mean, would I need to have something for this year, this 2022 year, or?
It's gonna be, if I'm saying this right, it'll be like you're just starting brand new. If you go to work for another agency, you're gonna be just, all that's null and void. You'll just be starting fresh.
Okay. All right. Well, yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, so the motion is to take no action, basically disapprove pending receiving the paperwork, which includes the dismissal from the court.
Correct.
So that is the motion, and it has been seconded. All in favor? Opposed? All right, motion passes.
Okay.
You understand, sir?
I believe I do. I guess just excuse me. I'm sorry. Do I just send it over to Mr. Bellows, or who
Yes.
who do I send this information to?
Bellow.
Yes.
Okay.
And make sure your address, everything's updated with us, the commission, so that we can be able to contact you.
It is. Yeah. Because I'm like I said, this whole situation. I'm fixing. As a matter of fact, I'm fixing to leave here in about 6 months to go on a deployment with the National Guard to Kuwait. So, like I said, I'm just trying to get all my ducks in a row. That way, I don't lose something that I worked really hard for. And I'm just, yeah.
Well, that information would be good to have too, because that will help if there's an issue about in-service military services excuse for not getting in service.
Okay. So, all righty, then I'll get all my command paperwork, and I guess and send it over to Mr. Bellows, and then get that taken care of for you guys. So, all right. I appreciate your time and everything. So,
Okay, thank you, sir.
thank you.
All right, moving on to the agenda, Shelby County Sheriff's Office, Jason D. Hemphill. Mr. Hemphill was submitted for decertification based on his termination for policy violations of the following: personal conduct, truthfulness, alcoholic beverages and other intoxicants, neatness and attire, and leaving duty assignment. And he was notified by Investigator Bella by telephone, and they did have a conversation, so he was aware. Do we have the Shelby County Sheriff's Office on the call?
Yes,
today?
I'm here, President. Can you hear me?
Okay, is that you,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Hemphill? Okay, we can't really hear you, but we're actually asking, is there a representative from the Shelby County Sheriff's Office on the
Just
call?
me myself. I was told to be here, so I can't speak on the department, but yes, I'm here present.
Okay, well, that takes care of that. So if you would just mute for 1 second, and we will see if there's somebody from the Shelby County Sheriff's Office on the call with us.
Mute for 1 second. Okay, yes, sir.
I wonder, Mr. Henson, are you at the Shelby County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
We cannot hear you. What do we think the issue might be?
I can get him to call in.
Get him to call in and we'll, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just move this to the end of the agenda and give you an opportunity to get your audio working. Y'all good with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, next up on the agenda, Tennessee Department of Safety, Cedric K. Miles. Mr. Miles was submitted for decertification based on his termination for unprofessional conduct during his probationary period. Now, Mr. Miles was properly served on March 22nd. Hello, sir. We know each other, but if you would just.
Yes, Sergeant Harold Stewart with the Department of Safety and Homeland Security's Office of Professional Accountability.
Go ahead, sir.
Of an allegation that was regarding Mr. Miles. The allegation was as such, Lieutenant Forsyth of Civil Car wearing civilian attire, but he also had the back of his vehicle open up and putting gas in a gas can. So Lieutenant Forsyth got in touch with his lieutenant, who was Lieutenant Asbill, and made him aware. Lieutenant Asbill called Mr. Miles and confronted him about it. Mr. Miles denied the allegation. I wasn't getting gas. I was there, but I wasn't getting gas in the gas tank. After that conversation, Lieutenant Forsyth went back to the gas station per an order, reviewed the video, got the receipts, and it shows on video that he was getting gas in a gas can from the back of his patrol car while wearing civilian attire, which is against policy. So his untruthfulness towards his lieutenant is what brought the investigation to our attention. We conducted an interview, confronted him about that as well. He denied getting gas in the gas can, said that he was helping out a guy in a truck next to him. After reviewing the video, that was a false statement as well. We confronted him with that. Eventually, he owns up that he did get gas in the gas can. He also admitted that he lied to Lieutenant Asbill in the course of it. So we asked, what did you do with the gas? Well, stinking up my patrol car. The whole reason he got the gas was he wanted to have it for a motorist assist later on down the road. So we asked what he did with the gas. He said it was stinking up my car so bad, I just put it on my front porch full this morning. After the interview, we got in touch with the district captain, sent a supervisor over to his house who found the gas can sitting on his front porch. However, that gas can was empty where we caught Mr. Miles in another one. So subsequently, we submitted our paperwork up to his district captain, made the recommendation for termination.
Any questions?
Couldn't drive.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miles, are you on the call? Mr. Miles, we see you there. Are you down there in the corner? Mr. Miles, are you on with us?
Can you hear me?
We can now.
Okay, I had it on mute. Sorry about that.
You would just state your name for the record.
Cedric Keith Miles.
Okay, Mr. Miles. You have the floor.
Yeah, yes, sir. I messed up. It was just a heat of the moment type of thing. And then after I left there, I went and worked for Henderson County Sheriff's Department for maybe about a month. And after what happened at the Highway Patrol, it was like, I did it to myself, but it was like a family member died. So I just resigned from there. And, I retired from the military. I always wanted to be in law enforcement. I always wanted to be a state trooper, honestly, but the devil works in mysterious ways. So, I'm not trying to downplay it because, I just panicked. I really, the only reason I came out that day is because the technician was going to fix the ID card, the driver's license scanner. I was off that day. The only reason I went out was because of that. They didn't say nothing about that. If it wasn't for that, I don't know. Something else could have happened, but it wouldn't have happened that day. I mean, that's the absolute only reason I went out in that patrol vehicle that day. I didn't have no guidance when nobody tell me, hey, don't do this. No, they knew I had to get the scanner fixed. I didn't even call it in. The guy that was doing my FTO called it in, and the technician from the state said he couldn't come to my house, so he had to meet me somewhere. So while I was out, I just got gas. I mean, I wish I would have put my uniform on and checked 10-8 and did everything the right way. I mean, I truly regret that. You have no idea how much that bothers me. But to this day, I mean, it's crushing. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I just own up to it. I mean, it hurt. You know, I'm a lot better, you know, from it, but it hurt. You know, I said, that wasn't me. You know, I mean, I didn't do like in the grand scheme of things. I really didn't do anything wrong. I mean, but I should have just not went out. I mean, I wasn't doing anything nefarious or trying to do something sneaky, nothing like that.
Mr. Miles, where's the gas? Where was the gas at? What'd you do with the gas?
My son took that gas, and unfortunately, he snatched it up off the porch and put it in his vehicle. And all he had to do was ask me for some money. That's all he would have had to do. Because I filled up 2 cans. I put one in the patrol unit, and the other one wouldn't go in there. So I set it on the front porch. And that was the same day that we were going to Nashville for I was going before the board about this situation. And so I just left it on the front porch. And I did leave it on the front porch. They found a can there, but my son took the damn gas. And I was like, man, you should have asked me for some money this morning. I'd have gave you $20 for some gas or something. But I didn't know nobody that came by the house. He did, because he told me he got the gas. So that was, you know, something new for me to hear right a few minutes ago.
Mr. Miles, at that time, how long, Mr. Miles, this is Commissioner Wright. At that time, how long had you been graduated with the department?
I see, it was October 14th or 15th. Wait a minute. That the week of October 14th, 15th was the last week at the academy. That was it for me, you know. And then I came to Henderson County for my FTO. I was like ready to go into the second phase of FTO.
Okay, this is Commissioner Wright again. How many empty gas cans did the department issue you at Fleet when you went and got your stuff?
I had 2.
Did the
Because
department issue you both?
yes, it was 2 in there, and then they brought it when you're at cadet school and you like they asking you what you need and extra stuff and giving out stuff, going back and forth for the supply. I got an extra can and I got something else extra too. I can't remember. It might have been some spike strips or something like that. You know, I had like a couple of things like where I should have only had one, is what I'm trying to say. I had a little extra, like several of us did, actually.
Are you saying, so the second can of gas, did you leave it in your patrol car at that time?
No, I feel okay. I went to the gas station, just like they said. I filled up 2 cans. I left them in the back of the unit. And then the next morning when I got ready for work, actually it wasn't even the next morning. It was like, that was on a Tuesday. I didn't have to go to work until Friday. And I went to the patrol unit. And when I opened the door, it was like fumes, like I can't even explain it. And so I was like, let me get this out of here. So I opened up the gas cap to the patrol unit and put one in. And I was gonna put both in it, but only one would go. And so I set the other one on the front porch that day, that morning, and left. And when I came back home, the gas can was like tilted over. I thought it had wasted. And I was like, what's going on with this gas can? And my son was like, oh, I used that gas. I said, you don't even know if it was gas or not. That's what I told him. I didn't know, you know. So, well, it didn't mess up my car. I said, ask me for money next time. That's kind of how the conversation went. I didn't know.
Mr. Miles, this is Commissioner Cherry. Why did you not tell the department about this situation with the gas? Why didn't you tell them the truth when they asked you about the gas?
You know that I'm glad you asked me that, because the thing is like I have no earthly idea why I did that. I just felt like I wasn't wanted there. I felt like I was being, okay, I can say this. When I first got home, the first weekend, my daughter's a cheerleader at UT Martin. I went there to Martin. I mean, and me and another guy, I didn't know no better. He didn't either. I had my gun, you know, it was like in my belt and under my shirt, showing the badge, you know, just being, I guess, the security guy. I think he used to be the sheriff at Henry County. He's over UT Martin security team or something now. He went and told Lieutenant Asbo, and when I first got there, Lieutenant Asbo got on to me about doing that, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I thought, you know, keep it where it can't be seen, or wear something the way, you know, it don't show up. And I was like, you know what, I won't wear it at all. And then when this came about, I was like, okay, now they're nitpicking at me. And so, like I said, there's really no excuse. All I should have just said, hey, look, I went to the gas station, civilian clothes, going out to meet the technician. While I was out, I stopped and got gas. I filled up 2 gas cans when he asked me. I mean, that's really nothing I can, I mean, I was just being like, like, I can't find the words. I was feeling like I was being picked on, like right off the bat. That's how I was feeling. I know that's not true in hindsight, but that's how I was feeling. And I felt like about it the wrong way. I really did. If I should have just talked, I regret it. I 2020. And people used to say that. I didn't know what it meant a long time ago. It really, really makes sense.
Mr. Miles, I think you know, a lot of this. Can you hear me? Mr. Miles, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
I think the concern this
yes, I hear you.
A lot of this stuff that we're looking at is pretty minor stuff and pretty forgivable. But the fact that you lied about the gas cans and then you kind of doubled down and hang on to that lie until they had the video and showed you, that's what really concerns me and gives me a problem. So I just want you to understand kind of where we're coming from.
Yeah. I didn't know they went and looked at the video, but I did the same day, because the Lieutenant Asbo called me after I left the gas station when I was on the way. It was maybe 5 minutes after that, I guess, because whoever saw me called him, and he said, hey, man, after he talked to me for a minute, I just told him everything I was doing. I said, I meet the technician to fix the scanner. Yes, I did. I got this. I told him. I just went ahead and told him. So I was like, okay, I got that off my chest. I thought I had cleared it up, you know, but I mean, when you tell one, you got to keep telling another one. That's what my mother used to say. So that's when I was like, you know what? I'm just going to tell him what I did. I wasn't doing nothing wrong. Let me tell him what I did. And I told him. So I mean, I guess they went ahead and just had to follow through with what they had to.
I had a question for the sergeant, don't mind. Maybe I can get a better answer. Do you have his employment dates of when we started? Yes.
And Sergeant, sir, could you repeat that? I couldn't hardly hear you.
Right, I'm asking the sergeant on patrol for a few dates.
Oh. Sorry.
Yes, sir. His hire date shows June 27th, 2021.
Yes.
And this incident happened on November 11th.
November 9th is when the gas can was filled up. He was interviewed on November 11th. Yes, sir.
Yes.
He was terminated from the department, signed his termination notice on November 18th, 2021.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Yes.
Mr. Miles, tell me a little
Yes,
bit about your prior employment prior to the Highway Patrol. Do you have any law enforcement experience before the Highway Patrol, military experience? What else?
Well, I'm retired from the military. And right now I work for Republic Services, you know, driving an ASL. I got CDLs, you know, so I spent 23 years in the military between the Navy and the National Guard. And for like the past since 2014 minus THP, I've been like basically driving a garbage truck.
All right, so the Highway Patrol was your first law enforcement career job.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was the first time I ever come into law enforcement. I've been wanting to do that since I was a kid. But I mean, you know, got in the military.
All right, what's your future admirations of being a law enforcement officer?
I would give anything. I've been putting in applications for the sheriff's department. I even went back down to Henderson County. They didn't have anything open, but they told me where to go, and I went. So I mean, I want to get back in it if I can. I mean, I understand. You know, I understand you reap what you sow, but I'm trying to get back in if that's possible. That's what I thought that letter was about, because you know I did work for Henderson County for about a month after the fact. So Sheriff Brian Duke took me on. He knew everything that y'all know. And he gave me a chance.
I'll make a motion, we send this to the full commission for consideration.
All right, the motion is to approve the request for a decertification
Make it move to the full commission.
correct, to
Formal hearing.
to approve this, to send it to a formal hearing. Sorry, yes. All right. So,
Phrase like that, I'm sorry.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, this request has been approved to go on to the full commission for a formal hearing. Post commission will be in touch with you. Mr. Moore.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Can we mute him?
Am I done?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, Metropolitan Nashville Police Department, Jerem P. Plasto. Mr. Plasto was submitted for decertification based on his termination for criminal conduct and policy violations. Do we have Metropolitan Nashville PD?
Yeah, Sergeant Gibson's here on behalf of MPD.
Okay, do we have Mr. Plasto? We do not. He was properly served on March 23rd. Okay, Sergeant. Go ahead, sir.
All right, on August 16th, 2021, former Officer Plastow was arrested for driving under the influence in neighboring county, following him making some suicidal statements to his girlfriend. Our department was notified and learned that he was arrested not only for the driving under the influence, but also possession of firearm while intoxicated. At the time of the arrest, he was a probationary employee and was terminated the following day. Our office was able, the Office of Professional Accountability, Internal Affairs, we were able to put together an investigative summary, which sustained violations for impaired operation of motor vehicle, use of alcohol, and conduct unbecoming on him.
Did you say that he'd been properly served?
Yes, he has.
Okay, is there any legal firms or anybody representing him today? Do you know of?
Not that I know of. No, but our investigators are saying they've not heard of that either, so.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Will that be a default
Default,
motion
default motion,
for
decertification.
criminal misconduct?
He got arrested,
Termination. for
termination, yeah. And he was a probationary as well.
I'll second.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, motion is to approve the default for termination for disciplinary reasons. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you very much, Sergeant.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to Shelby County.
Back to the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. Sir, is your microphone working at this point? Does he have the telephone number to call in? Sir, we're going to take just one moment. We're going to call you on the telephone.
Doors and wall for referencing.
So,
No, sir, they represent Mr. Smith. Who's separate.
Why are they here today?
They wanted an opportunity to speak with the informal committee.
No, sir. Oh, man.
That's all I can do.
They haven't done, we're not going that way. Again.
all right, do we have you? Sir, there we go. Yes, yes. For the record, can you identify yourself, please? All right, Sergeant, thank you very much. And again, we've got Mr. Hemphill. Are you still on the call?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. If you would mute your Zoom, please, and we'll go ahead and start. Sergeant, you can present first. Captain, I'm sorry, Captain. Any questions for the sheriff's office? None. All right, thank you, Captain. Just hold tight. Mr. Hemphill. Mr. Hemphill, can we mute him, the telephone? Thank you.
Yes, yes, sir.
What, Mr. Hemphill, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
great. I can hear you.
If you would, just for the record, state your name again and give us your sign.
Jason Dwayne Hemphill. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Just want to go tell my side of the story.
Hold on, Mr. Hemphill. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hemphill.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir, we can barely hear you. If you could just speak up real loud, state your name again for the record, and tell us your side.
Okay, my name is Jason Hemphill. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Basically, I'm not making any excuses. For the first and foremost, I want to say, I have nothing but respect for Captain Henson. He was my sergeant when I first came into the department. He's a great guy. Basically, everything that was in the affidavit as far as leaving work early, that's what I did do. I left work early. I told my other co-workers I left work early. I went to my own residence. I drove my own personal car to my residence. The only reason I drove my own personal car to my residence because other co-workers, they were also getting relieved of duty early. So I figured if they get leaving early, then I should be able to leave early too. It was a bad decision on my fault. I make no excuses on that. It was a bad decision to leave early just because I seen other people leave early. I went home, got intoxicated in my own residence. A Sergeant Brad Less, he entered into my residence without permission, took pictures of my residence without permission. And for the record, I just want to say I do have documentation, the same thing that I was charged with. There are people who are currently working with the sheriff's department who are still working with the sheriff's department who was not terminated. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I do have documentation, the same thing that I was terminated for. There are people who are working with the sheriff's department who are still currently work there. But like I said, it was a bad decision. I make no excuses. I am guilty at fault for leaving my tour of duty ahead of schedule, but I left basically, to my understanding, to your understanding, I left work early. I drove my personal car to my residence and got intoxicated. I did not drive a department vehicle. I was in my own residence. So, but yes, I was guilty of that. I make no excuses of that. But the same thing that I was charged with, as far as on the department level, there's are also other people. I just want, if I don't get my job back with Shelby County, I just want the board to know that there is unfair practice being practiced at Shelby County. The same thing I was charged with. There are people that have criminal charges. There are people who have criminal charges that is currently working at the department. I can give you some. I don't want to throw them in the gloves because they're great guys. I'm actually friends with them, but they're being charged with criminal charges and they are still currently on payroll. So that's all I have to say.
Questions? Make a motion, we move to full commission.
Second.
Right, motion on the floor is to move this to the full post commission. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. So
End of the agenda.
that is the end of the agenda.
I'll make a motion until we conclude.
Motion on the floor is to,
Just let him know that they'll reach out to him schedule.
pardon,
Just let Mr. Hemphill know that we'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
Schedule that full hearing.
Mr. Hempel, we will reach out to you and give you information on when the full hearing will be. And Captain, we'll be in touch with your agency as well, and apologize for the post commission temporary demotion to sergeant. So I apologize for that.
Chairman, I would
Oh.
let you know that there is a party that would like to be heard that is not on the agenda. I will defer to the informal committee as to your pleasure, sir.
No.
Chairman, this is Attorney Daniel Morrell. I'm here as well as Richard Gaines. Attorney Richard Gaines, I believe he's stepping out in just a moment. We are.
This meeting's adjourned. This meeting is adjourned. You're not on the agenda.
Adjourned.
Sure.